Alright, divas! My name's Jared. I'm 19. And I never fucking learned how to read. Let me make sure that is not in the way. Oh my god. To think that you couldn't see part of my screen. That's not a reality I want to think about. This is the very first episode of my podcast. This is my podcast. It's a video podcast. And, ooh, girl, if you're not on the YouTube version, and I think the YouTube version is all I'm going to release, truthfully. So if you're hearing this, then that's that. The YouTube version, as we all know, has a PowerPoint presentation attached. Yes! Okay, multimedia. Okay, film. Oh! So basically, I am going to give the new year a ring, and we're just going to chit and we're going to chat. We're going to chat and we're going to chat. We're going to chat. We're going to chat. We're going to chit-chat. I feel the need to disclaim, and maybe I'll cut this out, maybe I won't. Who knows? I'm in charge. So, I am on the road to Eddyville, as one Brittany Broski would say, and that's such a good segue, because I wanted to call out the people, the channels that I am inspired by. If it's not obvious already, like I feel sometimes that if you watch any of these creators, you'd be like, yeah, we get it. So, first one gonna be the Broski Report. Yup. Yes, sir. And the bitch is funny, as my friend put it once. I fear I may have like leaned into the light color, like I brightened this background. It's the same color as my website. Ooh. You're right, we should go check out my website. Slay. Doesn't look that good on this big screen. But, ooh, check it, we got a vlog. Oh. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. Oh, you should be. You're so good. Yeah, that's me nurturing my artist child. We'll come back to that. We'll circle back to that one. Yeah, don't you worry about it. But so that is to say, this is so bright. I'm going to go ahead and turn the brightness down. Okay, should I go all the way low? I don't know, Diva. That's dark. Okay, so the Broski Report. Moving on. Also inspired by jumping in an elevator, and that one is going to be Mike's mic. That one is going to be a kind of stream of consciousness, like let the fucking mic flow. I believe Brittany Broski embodies that as well, but this is kind of like it's a feels like a sharp contrast. It feels like a sharp contrast between the content that I see Mike's mic deliver that is edited and this. Like, the podcast is not edited vibes. It is, like, continuous as fuck. And so, it's likely that I'm not going to cut out gaps that are less than, like, 3 seconds. I think 3 seconds can be used for dramatic effect. Like, easy peasy, maybe 5. Before we get to our third piece of inspiration, I think it's important that we mention that this font, Poppin', makes the little less than 3 heart look like a penis. That's true. That's going to be a fact. And so it's crazy I left it there like that. And when I look at the 3, like, it looks so 3-like. Like, it's so extremely 3, but it's also so extremely balls. Like, that is so obviously balls. Am I right? So anyway, you get it. Last but not least, we have Caleb Heron, and that's a recent addition to the girl group. Like, she is fresh on the scene, and no one really knows what to expect from her. Except for that's not true. Because I had seen Brittany Broski really like big Caleb up, and I had felt like the thumbnail version of him that I was seeing, I was like not really drawn to. But once I actually watched the content, I was like, oh, that's gonna be right up my alley. And so it's fun. It doesn't like scratch the itch for me in the same way that the Broski Report does. Because the Broski Report, like, if it didn't have ads, it would be perfect. But I like understand that ads are just like a part of the game. Unless you're me. I'm not going to give you an ad. This program is going to be brought to you by my Google Home that can't connect to the Wi-Fi right now. You're trying your best, girl. We forgive you. All right, so we're going to be getting into songs of the year. Okay, songs of the year. We have a few contenders for this, and that is going to be one, Messy by Lola Young. The next one we got on the list. Ooh, actually, let me back up and talk about Messy for a little bit. So, Messy. My local radio station that is like giving leftist values loves Messy by Lola Young. Like, this was their song of the year. And you know what? I fucking understand. I get it. It's very good. It's very good. And it has depth, bro. It's got all that you want. A screaming British woman. And that's it. So, next up on the list, we are going to have a bit of like a 30-degree turn, dare I say, to Sticky by one Tyler, the Creator, featuring Glorilla, featuring Sexy Red, and featuring Lil Wayne. So, when I first heard this song, I thought it was boo-boo garbage. I thought it was not good because because my partner Colin showed me a couple singles off the album before I had heard it in full and from the beginning. And he was like, I really like this one. And then I was like, oh my God, it's going to really suck if I don't like it. And he likes it. Like, then, I did not like it at first. Now I'm a really big fan. Obviously, it made the top 4. So that's pretty good. Because now when I listen to it, it's just fun. It's just a good time. It's just a good time. Next, we're going to have All Falls Down by one Lizzie McAlpine. Not several girls, just one. And so she went ahead and wrote this little album that we'll talk about later. Well, All Falls Down is really fucking good. And I like it a lot. I'm a big fan. I love it. I like it a lot. Is that Australian? Sound off in the comments, bro. Be honest with me. It's okay. I can take it. This song is so fucking good. Oh my God. It's just like, it's also fun to listen to, but it's like vulnerable in a much different way. Like, I think that art in its essence is vulnerable. This takes it like removes a degree of abstraction for you. She's like painting a very clear picture. And, oh, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a little more like folky, if I had to compare it to something, but like folk pop. For sure folk pop, but it's also like, I don't know, it's not quite negative, but maybe it is slightly skewed in a like, damn, this is the reality and this is true, and I want to change it. Like, I don't think I like it. Like, I think there's something about this that could be improved and I want to improve it. Like, she wants to grow. And so she's trying. Next, we went ahead and left a little typo on there for you, so you're welcome. Little sneak peek in the next section, okay? So this one is going to be Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. This song, I'll let you know right now, this one's the winner. I really like this song. It was really fun to learn the lyrics to. It was also really easy to learn the lyrics to. Like, maybe it was because I was listening to it several times a day, but I feel that I learned the lyrics very quickly. Like, and so this turned into a song that, like, Colin and I, for a little bit, were, like, on the same morning routine. And we would get up and we would say, Alexa, play Sabrina Carpenter Espresso. Play Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. And we would start our mornings like that, and it was really, really pleasant. It was really nice. I really enjoyed that. So, yes. Also, I started working at a coffee shop this year, and this was, you better believe it, the first song on my playlist. Because it just makes sense. It's so topical, and it's so fun, and it's so pop. And she really outdid herself with this one. Like, she really snapped in a way that I just, like, was not ready for. And you know what? Let me back it up. I was completely ready for this. I was, like, fully starting to, like, listen to emails I can't send again and being like, This is really good. This is actually very good. Like Vicious, love. Is it Vicious that I love? Needless to say, there are a lot of bangers on that album. And so I then built all of my hope around the album and the potential for Short and Sweet around this song. And I think that the album really delivered on like the vision that she set forth in this song back in like June or whatever. So this one does it for me. I know part of it feels like it's a product of the pop machine. I'm choosing to not see it that way. I don't know that I believe that way truly has merit. So the girls that get it, get it. So Espresso, thank you. Thank you so much. You're so good. Next, honorable mentions. Okay, these are songs that were not necessarily released this year, but that I really, really, really liked. So first up, we have Akira by Michelle. This was a new artist, new song to me, and she's living as a one-hit wonder in my head. It is so like funky and groovy, and I love, because this started coming on when I would play my playlist in the coffee shop, my playlist of like indie pop, basically. If you're gonna listen to any of these off of this, I would listen to that one. I think that's the one I'm willing to bet that like the most people haven't heard off of this list. That's totally based off my circle, so I have no idea. Like, I don't think that my circle is representative of the population at large, but maybe it is. So, next we're going to have Mansa Musa by Anderson .Paak, and this is one of those that was not released in 2024, but oh boy, I went to listen to Oxnard again. I was kind of like running back in my albums and trying to like really like refresh myself, because I was just like I had like overplayed a lot of music. I had a lot of very, 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 very obsessive listening habits this year, and I also started like really listening to CDs this year and last year. So like 2024 and 2023. I'm recording this in 2025. So anyway, Mansa Musa, oh my god, it's so good. Like, I have been thinking a lot more about like if something is sonically or like substantially good. Like, there are some songs that I realize I have no fucking clue what's going on in the lyrics, and I'm like, but I love this song. Like, this makes me feel some type of way. Even like the little bits that I'm gleaning, but I could be gleaning it like completely wrong is like the feeling that I have. But I'm like choosing to enjoy it for what I think it is, and having like faith that it's not actually something like problematic or bad. But I feel that this one had sonical and substantial, like, yeah, like this whole album, especially listening to it now in 2025 in a second Trump era world, it was just like very topical to listen to the whole album. And even if it was just like surface level, like Trump's got a love child, and I hope that bitch is bug wild. Yes, Lord. So anyway, yep, that one's up there. It was really good. Next, I really became a Hosier girl in 2024. This was when I leaned in and finally listened to Unreal on Earth. I have always had a few Hosier songs on my playlist, and I really liked all of them. Like, it was No Plan, Jackie and Wilson. Oh my god, I'm getting a phone call. Hosier. Loved Unreal on Earth. Have loved the singles released since. I asked Colin if he wanted to add anything, and he said, no, that's your space, that's your area. He can't do that to me. Maybe I'll call this podcast The Vine Graveyard, as I keep them alive. One thing about me, I'll keep the vines alive. They're like in an encyclopedic memory palace in my brain. Like, I know that I have a memory palace because I know these. I got a mind palace, not a memory palace. Silly. Silly. Okay, so Hosier, love Hosier. Empire Now, so good, so good. 100 years from the Empire Now. This one is sonically interesting. Like, I think that it is substantially interesting. I like my bet and my faith in that, but I don't know that I fully understand it. I feel like I got the gist of it. Could I tell you what that gist is now? Of course not. I'm thinking that it's like, I'll try my best though. That it is like it's probably talking about fascism if we're being honest, and being like silly us, like repeating history basically, like how dumb. And even though we're like so far out from it, but also because we're so far out from it, we've like maybe lost the recency. That's my assumption that I just made right now. So maybe it's not about that, but Hosier, I love and I trust you to deliver us something substantial, because you do all the time. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution to this list. Okay, thank you. Okay. Next up, we're going to have a little dip into my obsessive listening habits of the year. So this song has a break-ins feature. A feature of break-ins. I do like Quedeca, but I love break-ins. Break-ins was my obsession for the year, truly. And this song, a la carte, is just very good. I really, really like Quedeca's part. I really, really like the break-ins first. Because it has, like, 2 phases. Like, what the fuck? It's got 2, like, distinct chunks, and each of them sounds like climactic moments. Like, I don't know. It's just really good. I feel that this was, like... this is gonna sound... like a bit obsessive based, or like it could only be based in obsessive listening habits. But I feel like he really like exercised his craft here, bitch. Like he did a couple other features this year, and I wasn't like goo goo gaga about them, but I did like them. Like I feel like I'm giving that an unfair phrasing and saying it like that. I liked them. But in those songs, I felt like he was carrying the song. He was carrying the song, I fear. And so I liked that this one was like very well balanced. And it felt like they complemented each other. It felt like they worked together. It felt like it was the same song. Also, it's poppy. Like, I would say that he raps, but he is also singing and using all ways to like deliver his voice. So next. That's going to be Slug by Matt Champion. Okay, good one. Good one, Matt. You did really good. Next, we're going to have Bruises Off the Peach. Okay, Ryan. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so Ryan Beatty, I went ahead and seen him at Bonnaroo. And it was so good. It was so good. He had the same band as Lizzie McAlpine. I believe Lizzie got her band from going to a Ryan Beatty concert. And so, there we go. Bruises Off the Peach is so good. This one came up as like a recommended when I would do Smart Shuffle at the coffee shop, Indie Pop. And I was just delighted, and then I added it to the playlist. And it has just been such a glorious moment in the day when I get to hear this song at the coffee shop. Like, if I hear it just as I'm about to go clean the motherfucking bathrooms, dude, I'm pissed because there's no music in the bathrooms, and so you can't really hear it. Speaking of coffee shop music, Meta Modernity was the first song as well that I put on my playlist for work, because it would come up after album. Like, I think it came up after the Break-Ins album, Hypochondriac, as the recommended song, or maybe it was at the end of the Joe album, the DJO album, Decide. I think Meta Modernity was the one that it always recommended for me. And so yeah, it just like is coffee shop music. Like, it's when I hear it, and when I hear anything from Van Sire come up, I'm like, I wonder if they're catering to this demographic, like on purpose, of literally like people who are baristas and will play this in a coffee shop. It just like is that. That's the brand. That's kind of their vibe. So on the other end of the spectrum for coffee shop music, Bad Behavior by Remy Wolf and Austin Mills is so good. This was one that one of my friends played when she had just started working there, and we weren't friends yet. And I was like, taste. I like that song quite a bit. It's like so fun to dance to, and I just love it. It just makes me want to move my body. Okay, so those were all the honorable mentions. Love them. Thank you guys. Next, we have album of the year, and I will talk probably the same amount about this that I did song of the year. If you're not here to listen to that, then this is not the podcast for you. Okay, so we're going to start with Cowboy Carter, Beyonce. Thank you. Thank you, girl. You really did it for us. I am a, like, late to the party Beyonce girl, and it was because of Cowboy Carter that I really, like, bought in. And so I'm sure, like, longtime Beyonce fans are like, I didn't realize that there were people who would like Beyonce that didn't already like Beyonce. That, like, Cowboy Carter, well, of course you do, though, because, like, Cowboy Carter was, like, in its essence, like, toward a different, like, genre, right? Like, a different genre of music than she had traditionally been releasing. So naturally it was going to get a different audience. And boy, was I surprised that that was me. I thought that it's not like I hadn't listened to Beyonce, but, like, I listened to Lemonade, I listened to Renaissance, and it, like, did not blow my mind. And I think that's because sometimes I don't listen with a critical ear, or, like, I think I listened to them maybe in the wrong context, and so it was, like, while I was working or something. And so I needed to give those albums several tries, and I didn't. And so I was just kind of sitting here like, la 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 la, yeah, Beyonce, everyone likes Beyonce, yeah, like, I like Beyonce, but I never, like, play her albums. And so now I go back and I play Cowboy Carter a lot. That's one of the ones I have downloaded on my phone. So thank you, Spotify Premium. Maybe consider sponsoring the pod. Next we have Deeper Well by Casey Musgraves. I fear and I feel that I spelled that wrong. It might just be Musgraves, not with a K. Anyway, I like Deeper Well. It was, like, a very short-lived obsession for me this year. Whereas, like, Cowboy Carter took up, like, maybe the first 6 months of my year, like, decently, and I, like, continued to listen to it through the entirety of the year. Deeper Well just was, like, a short stint, and I really enjoyed it. I'm also a recent Casey Musgraves fan. I didn't go crazy for her earlier album, though, like, several of my friends really, really love it, who I, like, feel that I have similar music taste to. And so it's probably a matter of time before I, like, go back and listen to that, and I'm like, oh, that's right, I get it. My new friend who Remy Wolf bonded with me at the coffee shop, like I just mentioned earlier, had a lot of respect for Casey Musgraves as a musician, and I think her work, like, gets the critical acclaim that matches that, and so I don't feel like I enjoy it because it's, like, sonically good. I feel that I enjoy it for its substance, and by substance I kind of mean lyrics or its story. This podcast is brought to you by the live streaming camera that I have attached to the top of my monitor that is recording the video for this episode. And so today we are going to find out, right, if that is going to be 720 or 1080. Okay, so that's going to be good. I hope you guys are loving it. We'll see how small I keep the video. Okay, so if any providers, right, of technology equipment want to go ahead and send me something, I would love that. Thank you. You can DM me for my address. I'm giving it away for free. Back to album of the year nominees. So next, okay, we got Eternal Sunshine by Ariana Grande. This I was a little bit late to. It had come out for, like, the majority of the year, I think, before I really listened to it. And it ended up being one that I, like, really, really deeply listened to often, and it's something I really like to sing along to, like I do with most of her music, and I enjoyed it. I liked the vulnerability on this, of, like, talking about relationships in a complex way that, like, I feel like it gives the benefit of the doubt to the listener to understand and to give the compassion necessary to talk about, like, something as, like, culturally taboo as, like, ending your relationship to start another one with someone else who was also in like a committed relationship, who like, not that like marriage symbolizes the same like depth in a relationship to everybody, but it is so easy to like look at it and be like, haha, look at you guys messed up, like you guys did a bad. And it's like, they're, I don't know, people living complex lives and learning new things all the time about themselves. Like, it's not that crazy. It's really not that crazy. Next we have Brat by Charlie XCX. Need I say more? I mean, it got the critical acclaim it deserved. You know what I'm saying? Next quick mention is Underdressed at the Symphony. This is another one that I feel I must mention because it came up on my playlist with Smart Shuffle a lot. And I think I added songs. I think I added this to my playlist, like the whole album. So, there you go. Heard it a lot at work. Next we have Older by Lizzie McAlpine. I was really talking this big in the Song of the Year section. The entire album is so good and so vulnerable and so like, I don't know, and like the time that this hit in my life, it was one of those like, hit me right at the right time to like really make me explore my relationship through a new lens, my like romantic partnership through a new lens, and I just am really grateful to it for that. And it's delightful to listen to. It's so much fun to sing along with, and it's sonically and substantially beautiful. I love it. I love it. Okay, next we're gonna have Chromacopia by Tyler the Creator. Love, very, very good, very nice, very good, very nice. This is like the first rap adjacent, like not rap adjacent, but like this is on like the fringes of rap. I feel like, well, everything is kind of on the fringes. Like everything's in its own little niche, right? Like who's to say that this is not central? If Colin were here, he'd be like, "You're thinking about this too hard." Yep, you're doing that. So Chromacopia is really good. I like it. I like the playful energy that it has. It is like very much not taking itself too seriously, while at the same time like exploring the kind of vulnerability that we're seeing in Lizzie McAlpine's album. Up here next we got Smile by Porter Robinson. This is not in any particular order. This is just like as I thought of them. And so I really, really liked this Porter Robinson album. This was also one that I had a very quick stint with after going to see him live in Madison. So Colin had bought us tickets to that, and because Colin is a really big Porter Robinson fan, and this, I think seeing him the first time in Madison made me be like, yeah, this is pretty good. And seeing him this time as he did like an Eras tour basically was so good, and I was like so endeared by him as an artist, and like vulnerable at the show in the sense that he like talked about how his mic has a high pass filter on it as he's singing, so he's like, this is produced content that you're getting, and I'm like have no qualms about being honest about that, but it's really, really good. Like, I'm putting my pussy into it. Fear not. So, next we have Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. This should be no surprise considering how much I hyped up Espresso. And so this I really, really like. I want to get a CD of this. Her name is Sabrina, and so obviously we just like have that kinship. I'm also naturally blonde. Believe it or not, this red is not my natural hair. No, that's not it. So yes, I loved this. I loved it. And it's also so fun to sing along to. It's playful and not taking itself too seriously. Like, there are funny comedic moments in it. And I like it a lot. Next, we have Big Ideas by Remy Wolf. This is one that grew on me, and it grew on me because it kept getting recommended in my work playlist. So I eventually added the album, and I realized that I really, really I really enjoyed most of the songs on here. I think I enjoyed the entire album, but there are a lot of songs on here that I just love a lot. Like Alone in Miami, Wave, and Soup. They're so fun. they're not in their substance necessarily, but like they're fun in the way that Remy Wolf songs are always fun. And again, in like, not, she's never taking herself too seriously. Like, one thing about Remy Wolf, she is gonna play around. She's gonna be a little silly. Speaking of being a little silly, this is on the end of the list, and I think as it should be, just because of my like recent dive into it. Like, I was not on this until December, bro. And then in December, I was like, this is so good. Like, this is it. This is it. This is her. She's that. Like, I had not heard anything that year that made me want to learn the lyrics ASAP, right the fuck now, and so badly. So I was like listening to it a lot, and when I would go like on a trip to Madison in the car, I would listen to it. It's like her rapping holds the same place in my heart as like JID, and I love, if I'm at home at my personal karaoke station, I love to karaoke a JID song. And that is my truth. And so I did go ahead and do the Denial's a River on karaoke at the last karaoke occasion down in the basement, and dare I say I did a really good job. I got several compliments, and even from somebody who I was like, now you're not bullshitting me. One thing about it was Brandon. Brandon doesn't bullshit me. Go shout out to Brandon. Brandon has a YouTube channel, aka I'm trying to clout chase, aka. So send some of that clout my way. Yes, thank you. This album is so good. It's also one that I have to, I don't know, give it the space and its flowers that it deserves. I pivoted midway through that sentence. Whatever. It's really good, and I really like Doechii, and I like her other work, and her Tiny Desk is a masterpiece. Her Tiny Desk is a masterpiece. Okay? Like, I cannot believe, like, I feel so honored and blessed to like receive her art in that way. Like, it's just so good. I just feel I like it a lot. So, that being said, Lizzie McAlpine is going to take it. Okay, thank you, Lizzie. Thank you. Like I said, the just moment that it held in my life was so significant that when I saw her at Bonnaroo, I was like sobbing through the entire concert and singing along, and I was also so high. I was as stoned for a show as I think I was at the whole festival. Like, I think I was the most stoned that I was. And I did not mean to be. It was like accidentally I got really, really, really high, and I meant to just get like a little high, like decently high. I was like, I definitely want to be, like, I want to know that I'm fucking high. But so anyway, it was really good. It was a really emotional experience. And I think she is an incredible artist, and I think her voice is so beautiful. Next, we're just going to be generally talking about 2025 and the outlook on that. So first of all, first and foremost, I did go ahead and set a theme for the year, okay? So my theme is dedication. That is pretty broad, and it's kind of going to be dependent on how I feel about it in the moment, you know what I'm saying? But I intended it to be like dedication to the things in my life that I know that I like and that I know I want to put time into, and dedicating the time to put into those things. And so this podcast is one of those things. And what's another way? I had like the 4 H's. So one was like my health, and so being dedicated to doing things that make me feel well. Exercise being a great example of that. I don't exercise that much, but I'm trying to do that more. So I have explored yoga this week. That's been really good. So health, homies, husband was one, like quote unquote husband. Colin and I are not married. But he is my like life partner at this stage. And so he is counting as my H, my husband. Cuz I really want to like, I don't know, dedicate to this relationship like being something that I have completely like, that I have faith in. Homies, health, husband, hobbies. Crochet, that is going to be a big hobby of mine. And what else would I consider a hobby? Hey guys, do we have hobbies? I think just like general like little arts and craftsy stuff is a hobby because I try different things. I don't like, I think crochet is the one crafty thing that I have stayed dedicated to for a long time and regularly. And so, because it's been like 3 years and I have always come back to it. So that's what's up. That's my theme, dedication. And so I do a theme instead of a like resolution mindset or framework because a theme feels like something that I can always work toward but not something that I can like pass or fail at. And so like every time I pay attention to one of my H's, I am like embodying that theme. And this helps me like celebrate the wins, whereas like a resolution to do something like go to the gym every week or like exercise for this many minutes every week for the whole year, or resolving to just like go to the gym more. One is immeasurable, and because like how much is more and how much is sufficiently more to make it like ambitious. I don't know. I guess was not totally disillusioned by resolutions, but I heard this theme framework and I was like, I like that. That feels right for me. So dedication is gonna go ahead and be my theme. And if you're seeing this podcast episode, then like, girl, that's a win. That's a W. That's a W. Okay, now this will be the last time I talk about music this podcast. I don't promise, but I think so. So music so far, I'm going to think about this on the fly. You know what? Let's open up Spotify. Let's do it! What's up, fellas? I am interrupting this program to let you know that this episode is going to be brought to you by my dying Christmas cactus. As I grabbed it earlier, she went ahead and broke off, so I'm starting to think that Miss Girl is dead. That's okay. There are more Christmas cacti. But there will never be another Gab with Sap episode 1, so consider yourself lucky. Okay. Album of the year. No, just kidding. Welcome back to If Vine Has No Lovers, I'm Dead. This is Sabrina Stangler, and this is music so far. So, okay, I mean, let's just look here. So, I've been playing my interval playlist a lot. Come on, let's show it. Let's give the people what they want. I know you guys are itching to know. I know you guys are on the edge of your seat. Oh, this is probably so small for you. Can I make it bigger? No. Yes. Yes, I can. Oh, photo ID has been back in my like little circle, my little zeitgeist, and oh my god, I love it. I love it. It's so good. I've been really on Dijon. This is also not released like this year, so let me keep moving. I just learned about Beverage in the Drinks. Apparently a maybe Chicago band, if I remember correctly, that is all drag queens. And like femme presenting drag queens, I think. And it's just so good. Let me back up. I have not really listened, but I think I remember that it's good, and I like look forward to listening to more. Next, I've been like finally going to The Secret of Us, which also, you know, a 2024 release. I am late to the party here. I came around when the deluxe album came out, and I also was a latecomer to That's So True, her single that went like big, and 765 million streams. crazy numbers. And she has hundreds of millions of streams on several of these songs. Like, I did not realize Gracie Abrams was so big. And honestly, she's doing great. Next we have Mallrat. This is just like a little EP, a little extended play. Maybe it's just like a pre-album release of like 4 songs. I don't know, but they're all very good. They give me Sophie Cates vibes, and I mean, but it is different. It's not like, oh my god, Sophie Cates copycat. It's like, okay, just see a lot of similarities between Mallrat and Sophie Cates. Arthur, please don't bump into the microphone, please. Okay, anyway. What else? I did also start finally listening to Tate McRae's album. It looks like it came out this year, in the year of 2025. So, I guess this is new music. It's good. I have not taken more than one listen, so you better believe I'm going to have to come back to this one. Same with Eusexua. I really got to return to this one a couple times. I still don't think that I have like gone through the whole thing all in one sitting. You can see I saved a few of FKA Twigs' albums because I've not really like given her the space in my life that she probably deserves. Also, the Wicked soundtrack, am I right, everybody? Is so good. So good. Love. And if we saw like at the top here, Alligator Bites Never Heal is still in my rotation. Like I said, I discovered it in 2024. Much like Columbus, I was late to the party. But I'm here to claim the land. What can I say? I also feel that I want to put some time into McGee because I saw him on SNL and I was like, this is not what I thought McGee looked like. But I also had not listened to McGee. It was just literally based on like me not looking at the profile picture at all. I think I thought McGee was black. Like, in my head, I was like, that is a black man. Like, with short hair. Can't tell you why I thought that. But, no, McGee is in fact a white, like, male-presenting person. Mask energy, if you will. And so, anyways, I really, really like Rockman, the single. And so I was like, I will probably like other stuff. That's gonna do it for me on talking about music so far this year. Let's fucking pitter-patter our way through this little digital hellscape that I've created for us. This digital wonderland. What am I saying? Okay. Next, I want to talk about The Artist's Way. And so this is a book that is like a 12-week program that you're meant to go through where you, throughout the entirety of the process, are doing morning stream of consciousness journaling and also giving yourself these like artist dates throughout the week or throughout the program once a week. And those are meant to be intentional time spent to creatively recharge. And so creative, I mentioned because it is like quote unquote a spiritual path to higher creativity. And one thing about me, I'm going to be an atheist, so I was a little bit hesitant about reading something that, like, talks about spirituality and is, like, written by who I understand to be a Christian woman. I don't have, like, traumatic history with the churches, thankfully. I was not a victim at their hands, and I'm close to many people who have been, and I've watched a lot of funny snark content. And so that is to say that, like, I don't know, I'm acutely aware of how dangerous it is to lean into these ideologies. And so I'm, like, very critical of this to start sounding culty at all, basically. Like, you've been shaming yourself for this, but hey, wait, look, if we just shamed you for this instead, then you would be the person that you want to be. And so, yeah. It thus far is not introducing shame. It is really trying to help us like work out of our shame. And so I'm enjoying it so far. It was recommended by my friend who is a musician, and I was like, I could stand to dabble in the musical arts. So yeah, so I'm seeing what happened. Since I've started reading it, I'm only 3 weeks in. And like I haven't even read all of the text in the third week, which is like 10 pages. There's like 10 pages you need to read for each chapter, as far as I can tell. And then there are tasks for each week. And so my tasks for last week were to like imagine 5 different lives for myself and then think about like ways I could take action toward actualizing any of those lives. Not that like I necessarily want to actualize any of the imaginary ones, but to like give yourself permission to dream, basically. And that has been fun. Yeah, this is taking up a lot of my time because it takes me like an hour to write 3 stream of consciousness pages in my journal. It takes so long. Like it surprises me that it continues to take so long every single day. Like I think the shortest I've ever done it is in like 45 minutes. And I'm like, 15 minutes a page? Are we serious? Oh my goodness. Arthur, I need you to move away from the mic, baby. I love you. Scoot over to the side. I will let you know in the next episode where I'm at with this, if I'm still feeling generally positive about it. But I would say right now, I'm feeling generally positive about it. Next, I have us slated to talk about indulgences, though I don't know if I remember what. Arthur, oh my god, you can't sit there and purr. I love you so much. I love you. We're going to skip it for now. We're going to skip it, and that's the last slide. That's going to be the last slide that I have. Let's go ahead and make another one. I don't know what else has been on my mind lately, because it's been really oriented toward creative pursuits. Like, I feel that I'm giving the most space to creativity that I ever have in my life. Like, I only continue to increase the space that it takes up, and I think that I'm better for it all across the board. I have also been trying out being nice to myself. Okay. Crazy. And so the more that I do it, the more practiced I become at it, and the better I become. But let me tell you, this process for me is very, very slow. It is so not intuitive for me to like give myself the benefit of the doubt. And that's not to say that I don't ever do that. It just like is not my intuition. It's not my gut. It's not my, like, maybe my gut is actually reliable, but I'm like, it's clouding my ability to like access my gut feelings. I guess I'll briefly talk about indulgences in the way that I am thinking about it now. I've been talking to a lot of people about nicotine addiction because I dabbled with a little nicotine in the last summer, and I don't think I'm better for it. I mean, maybe I'm better for it in that, like, now I'm able to have more compassion for people who are addicts, like, people, or I should say, like, people who are actively struggling in the, like, throes of addiction. Because the, like, kind of physical dependence that I had on nicotine is like not something I've experienced with other substances like alcohol or weed. And it was like I also thought about it all the time after I like was trying to quit. I could feel it making it slower than I felt like it like needed or ought to be. So then I was developing shame around like not being able to kick it, or like letting myself get into a position with it that felt like it was like less in my control. And so anyways, there's a lot of shame that came with that whole relationship, and I consider naming this podcast The Shame Spiral. Like, shame and me are not strangers, and I'm hopeful that doing like the Artist Way book is going to help me like move through or give me like some more tools for when I am feeling ashamed to like talk myself out of it. And so it has said just now, it's like very loosely talking about shame right now. Well, I mean, it's not loosely. It's saying like the reason why you don't like trust your creative whims or like indulge them. Maybe that's what I meant by this. Maybe you don't indulge your creative whims because you feel shame about them, and the remedy for shame is like self-love and self-praise and like self-affirmation. And like saying that out loud, I'm like, yeah, okay, duh, like that makes sense. So how come it took like hearing it said out loud for me to like really employ it? I don't know. So I guess I still think of like creative dives that I take as indulgences. Like it feels like an indulgence in that it is like, this is for me and for nobody else. Or when I like volunteer it, like I volunteered to make like prints, like to make like a lino cut of a logo and then be able to make like t-shirt prints with that, or business cards or something. And that feels like exciting. Like that feels like an indulgence for me. Like that does not sound like responsibility, or like I haven't started it yet. So like as I started, I'm probably going to be dealing with more feelings of like shame and inadequacy. But hey, we're going to work through them. We're going to get there. So my outlook on 2025 in that sense is positive. Like I feel that I'm at another, like maybe I'm finally at the inception point, or I'm like finally starting to reap some of the benefits of the inception point having hit. Or maybe it's just building up. Like I don't know. Maybe I haven't quite reached the inception point, but we're like really getting there in terms of my like relationship to myself. I feel that we're getting there. I don't know that I've hit like the inflection point for sure, because it still feels, like I said, it feels very difficult to be nice to myself, and whatever. Like I mean it in the sense that I just doubt myself and like doubt whether like the space that I take up is worthwhile, and if I like deserve to take up space basically. And I am trying to encourage myself to take up space, and I think it's going well. And 2025, year of dedication, year of taking up space. Okay, love. So with all that being said, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go, and we'll circle back next week. If like you're watching this and you do not know who I am, like I'm gonna share this on my personal social medias with like only hopes and prayers, right? Hopes and atheistic prayers to the universe, right, at large, for this to like reach an audience that enjoys it. If this reached you and you enjoyed it, please sound off in the comments, because I could use the motivation to like return and keep doing this. Because I think my shame monster is going to be like, this is stupid, nobody cares what you have to say. But if you're liking this, please let me know. I want to know what lands with you, like what is interesting, what you like. And I don't need to hear what you dislike. You can keep that one to yourself if you would like, actually. So I would say that we proposed to the new year. We got down on one knee and really took a leap of faith. Am I right? Okay. I will talk to y'all next time. We'll circle back. As they said, I'll definitely get back to you on that one. Okay, bye.